Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. If you're here, we appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a busy day. Andrew is not going to be joining us mostly. He may pop on here and there, maybe in the comments. We'll see. I don't know. He has had a migraine off and on, and various headaches and migraines for the last few days. And he has not been able to work on his paintings that he was trying desperately to debut today. He planned on doing that tonight, and he asked me, do you think I should do it tonight? And I said, you know what, at this point, you're not feeling great. Well, he wasn't. He's feeling a little bit better now, so he's working on them now and doing more work for them. And I said, why don't we do an AM reveal? So we don't have a Saturday morning tutorial for those of you who want those back, but we're going to have a Saturday morning art drop from Andrew is the plan, as long as all continues to go well and he continues to feel a little bit better. But he has not been feeling well enough to do a lot of painting or a lot of anything over the last few days. He's been just struggling to kind of work with me for the lives. So he's like, do you need me for the live tonight? I'm like, we'll handle it. We'll hang out. I'll hang out with my friends out here, and you can rest or continue painting or whatever you might need to do. So it's you and me, y'all, today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're waiting for Andrew's artwork, we will not have that tonight, but it will debut and drop, hopefully, all fingers crossed, tomorrow morning. So Saturday morning art drop from Andrew. Check that out on his Andrew Thornton Facebook page. He'll also share it to his Andrew Thornton artist page. And of course, we'll share it on the Allegory Gallery page as well. All right. Let's see who's with us today. Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Thank you for joining us. Marianne says, mostly vintage. Yes, mostly vintage. We're doing a lot of vintage stuff today. There may be a few things in here that are more contemporary, not all vintage. So mostly vintage things. We've got some gemstones. We've got some checked glass. We've got various glass. We've got some vintage plastic. We've got some lamp work. So we've got a lot of miscellaneous stuff that I pulled. I went to the cottage today after work. I was at the store all day. On the way home, I stopped at the cottage because I am preparing to get some packages out to drop off in the morning. So I took a real quick drop off because I needed to pick up a few things for some other things in those packages. And then I have things to drop off in the morning. But while I was at the cottage, kind of something told me, pick out some stuff. Because I wasn't sure what Andrew's plan was and if he was going to be able to, because I know he's been hurt in the last few days. So I wasn't sure if he was going to have the ability to do the live or what was going to happen, or if he prepared anything, or if he was sitting in a dark room again. So I did grab some things. And so I've got some good vintage stuff for you. Some people have been requesting some vintage stuff. So hopefully you'll be watching tonight because we've got some good vintage stuff. Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. Norma is here. Hello, Norma. Thank you for joining us. Marion says, what time? Because there is old I want from the sneaky peek. I don't know what time. I don't know if Andrew knows what time. I would love to be we would love to be so together that we could tell you exactly what time, but we're just hoping that he doesn't develop a full-blown migraine again. So I'll see if once he has an idea, if he'll post that on his page, but I think he just posted that he was going to release them in the morning. I don't think he gave a time. So sorry. Oh, probably there is one I want from the sneaky peek, I'm guessing, and it just hit me. If there's one you want, Marianne, from the sneak peek, let us know. That's why we sneak peek them for you all, especially. remember the first day you actually had the chance to grab them. So if you do see something you want from the sneak peek, just send us an email, and it can be sold before they hit the drop for our friends. It's all right, until it goes out to our other friends who don't watch these lives. Marianne says, hope he feels better. Yes, I do too. Michelle says, William, I found a really cool crochet kit. I tagged you. Thank you. I will have to take a look. I've been online a little bit today, but not a lot. I've been trying to stay offline a little bit. It's been getting to me a little bit, so I've been trying to stay away from just mindless scrolling, because the mindless scrolling leads to reading things that I wasn't prepared for, right? You gotta be prepared for some stuff. Not that anything's more terrible than anything else, but it's just it wanted a more relaxing day. So I focused on, I brought out, we've had them stored in the garage, our tumbled stones. So I put the tumbled stones out finally in the store today, made all new labels, cleaned out some new bowls, and got the tumbled stones that we had, most of them, out today. And then my mom stopped by. I didn't know she was stopping. So she stopped by today, and we talked for a long time, and it was good to catch up. I didn't mind at all. I don't actually know how long we talked. It was more than probably 2 hours. We just hung out talking about everything going on, and it was really good, I think, for both of us to kind of catch up and get rid of some frustrations and just chit chat. So that was really nice. I appreciated her stopping up. And I just remembered I forgot to bring home something she gave us, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. But yeah, so that was good. I enjoyed that, and that was a good break in my day. I'd been working on those stones and getting things out, and I was almost finished when she came in. So that was actually a really good break period. So she came in. That was really nice. And then when she left, I took some pictures and videos of the stones, and threw up a reel and some shorts on YouTube, and a reel on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff out of that. I've been trying to do those more often because I found that they are helping engagement. So I also figured that I'm going to take more pictures of flowers and post them on our timeline, or at least more reels of them, because that reel of our garden flowers has been shared and commented on and liked more than pretty much all of our other reels. So I'm happy to get the news out about Allegory Gallery and our little bead store and all that, however I can, even if it's flowers. If somebody sees that being shared and they click on it and they're like, oh, it's beads and jewelry and art, let me look at this, I'm happy for that. Kimberly is here. Hello, Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Where are we now? Oh, there we go. Comments jumped. They fixed the comments here a little bit. No, I think my screen's just bigger. It hasn't shrunk yet. It shrinks sometimes. Susie says the weather is crazy. I don't know what it's been like here all day, but in Johnstown, it was fine. There was no craziness there. Really, it drizzled a little bit today. No, it didn't actually. I don't think it did, because I had my sign out all day and it didn't get wet, or it's a chalkboard sign, so it runs if it rains, and there was no problem. At least I don't think so. I hope I remember to bring my sign in. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't actually remember bringing my sign in. So, or my flag in, for that matter. No, I think I brought the flag in. I told you, I rushed out of there because I always rush out to get home in time for the live on Fridays is the goal, to help Andrew out in case he needs it. And I knew I had to do things in between the live and getting home. So, my chalkboard sign, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, didn't rain. So that's good, I guess. Vicky is here. Hello, Vicky. Thank you so much for joining us. Marion says it was a lovely spring day here, so part of my walking was outside. Nice. That's always a good thing. Makes it nice to be able to walk outside. I think it was fairly, in Johnstown, it was fairly okay. It was gray. It was a gray day, but it was pretty good, I must say. Norm says the rain finally stopped here temporarily, but we have lots of flooded impassable roads and more storms expected overnight. Oh boy. Yeah, there were some places around here that I saw some flooding coming over the mountain especially this morning. I didn't notice it so much this evening, but this morning there were some places that a few yards got a lot of kind of flooding here. Probably nothing like what you are getting, but we did have some people, their yards and driveways and things like that were pretty flooded out. Yeah, but the birds are chirping out there today. I don't know if you can hear them. It sounds lovely. I have the window open in here, and it feels good. I was really warm, and because I was rushing around before this. So this is the first time I probably sound a little scattered because this is the first time I've sat down to talk. Well, sat down since my rush to get ready to leave the store, and rushing home and getting things together. And yeah, so let's all just take a moment. No, we won't take too much of a moment, but yeah, I hope everybody is doing well out there. We are good, I think, right? We're good as we can be with everything going on, and just trying to make it through this thing called life, right? But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that most of you seem to be doing okay, right? I know you're having some hard weather, some hard times, but it seems like most people are getting through it okay, and we have to count our blessings for that, right? We can't always look at all the things that are going wrong. We have to, we are okay. We are good. Things are going well. At least we're trying to keep things going well. And we got to look at that positive side when we can, right? I know, because I don't do that enough, and my anxiety often gets the best of me. So I am trying more to look at things that way, instead of, because I have a tendency to focus on what went wrong today. You may not know it from these lives because I'm always asking you what's going on, what's good, and that is why. Because I have a tendency to focus on a lot of bad things. I think we all kind of can get in that trap. But I use these lives try to help myself and hopefully help you break out of that a little bit sometimes and focus on the things that are good, the things that are happening, that are great. We're just trying to make everything good, right? Focus on the good. Yeah, usually more for my own health probably than yours, but if it helps anyone else out there, that's good too. That's good too. So what else is going on for all of you out there? Norma says, yes, all my friends and I are safe at home and trying to concentrate on other things. That's right. You're all good, right? Friends are good. You are good. It's all good. We can only control as much as we can. And depending on what you believe, you can manifest good things for yourself by focusing on those good things. I believe that. I look at my life and I wanted my own small business since I was a child, and that manifested. I wanted a husband and a house and pets, lots of pets, and that manifested. I wanted to go, in college, I started studying French out of nowhere, honestly. I was going to be a Spanish major only, and the Spanish class was full. I couldn't get into it the first year or two, first semester or two. And so I took a French class, totally changed my mind. I added a French major, and became addicted to the French and French things, and ended up going to France by my professor inviting me to stay with their family. So, I look at things, and as much as I have anxiety, and I was talking with my mom about this, that's why a lot of it's probably coming out today, but I look at a lot of things, and as much as I have a tendency to doom and gloom myself, I try to keep in mind that we do have power. We do have, you know, the ability to in a lot of ways go where we want to go and let our mind take us where we want to go. It's not always easy, and there are bumps along the road for sure. And I think challenges are presented to us to, you know, kind of let us know if that's what we want or don't want, to give us the ability to choose. But you know, I do believe in a lot of ways that we can manifest the things that we want, you know, and yeah. So that's why when I ask you all, like, what's good, let's think about the good things. What are y'all doing? What's happening? What's going on? It's to help me stay in the mindset of looking at the good things, and hopefully helping you also look at the good things and focus, maybe refocus if needed on things that are going well. Marianne says we'll be getting a new store manager by the end of May. Nice. Hopefully nice, right? Think about it as being nice. Think about it as being nice. Push it out there. You're going to have a great new manager. It's going to be awesome. Marianne, maybe you should apply. You can be the store manager. How about that? You probably don't want that. I don't know that I would want that anymore. Let's see here. Marianne's not sure yet if it's a good thing or an iffy thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let's see here. Vicky says Skylight Social looks promising. We need alternatives to social media monopolies. I have not even heard of Skylight yet. So there's that. That's how much I've not been around on looking at news and stuff. We're on Blue Sky. I've not heard of Skylight yet. Looks like I have another one I need to look into and reserve, hopefully, our username before it gets taken. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely need that. We definitely need that. Let me see here. What's going on? One moment, everybody. Is my Instagram up? Because yeah, it's going. Right. I was just on the wrong. Boy, it's been a time. It's been a time. Charlie, there's Charlie. Hello, I was staying hydrated, eating stew, and flat stitching still. Nice. Nice. Cheryl says, hi there. Hi, Cheryl. So odd your red circle isn't showing as live on Facebook, but here you are. Well, let me check that out. Wonder why. I thought it was for me. Let's see. It is on our profile, but it is not on our little avatar thing. Well, hopefully people know. I tried tagging, you know, the everyone and the followers, to get people to see us tonight. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. Who knows? Who knows? Cheryl says our spectrum has been going on and off, assuming it's from the storms to the south. That's no good. No good. Oop, that reminds me, though. I was thinking about all the things that could go wrong, and I forgot to plug in my phone. There we go. Hey, connected to the computer. It's working. Hopefully it's actually charging. Doesn't always. Vicky says Skylight Social integrates with Blue Sky. It's very TikTok-esque. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anne is here. Hello, AGB fam. She says, hello, Anne. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so we're just talking about manifestation tonight and manifesting all the good stuff. Let's talk about the good stuff. For those of you who missed, Andrew has had some migraines and some headaches. So we're going to manifest some good vibes, good, healthy, no headache pain for him. But he is not going to debut his paintings tonight because he has not finished them. At least not to the point where he wants them, he considers them finished. I think a lot of them look really good, but he's the artist. He gets to decide when they're finished. So tomorrow morning, we don't have a time slot yet, but tomorrow morning they will debut on his timeline. He was going to debut them late tonight, but I told him, probably for most of our people out there, the late PM time is probably less ideal. Even though you could see it in the morning, they might be claimed in the morning and it's not as fair. I don't know. Anyway, most of y'all are probably morning people. So we're gonna debut it in the morning at some point. I don't know when. But that won't be tonight. So if you've been waiting for that, if there is something though that you saw that you wanted, send us an email, because we debuted them here on our live for you all to be able to claim them early. That was the whole point. So they will, if you'd like them, you can either take a screenshot or try to describe it, and let me know. And I'll send that on to Andrew so he can mark it as sold out. And I can invoice you. Marianne says, I did send an email for the one I want. Oh, good. Let me make sure I got that. I don't have my email up. Imagine that. I don't have my email up today. Okay. Well, the email's filtering in. So yeah, that's. I talked about. My mom came to visit me today. That was nice. We chatted for a long while. Talked a lot about political stuff. Talked a lot about manifesting stuff, which is why I'm in that headspace right now. And also talked about ceramics. So I don't think she realized that the ceramic place down the street, well, she definitely didn't realize that the ceramic place right down at the end of our block, we're on one end of the block, kind of, and they're on the other. They actually supply my teacher down here, Ligonier Way. And they supplied my grandmother back in the 80s or so, 70s and 80s, when she did ceramics. So we got to talking about some stuff, and that was fun. There. Okay, I know exactly which one you mean, Marianne. I know exactly which one. My favorite. Well, one of my very favorites. The upper part of my favorites. Marianne says, what did everyone have or plan for dinner? I had shrimp and basmati rice. I didn't have dinner yet. I don't actually know what we're going to have for dinner because Andrew's not been feeling good. I didn't bring home dinner. Looks like it's going to be ramen. Good thing Andrew bought all that ramen for the pantry, because I think that's what's for dinner. And I don't know if by the time this live's over, I'll have time to go and get anything anywhere else. So it's going to be ramen for dinner, which is great. That's fine. I like it. Charlie says, I hope he feels better. I hate migraines. Me too. Migraines are not fun. Yeah. At least he wasn't sitting in a dark room when I got home. He had the light on, and he was doing a little bit of painting. So he is feeling at least better enough to do that. Marion says, ramen is a nice dinner too. I think so. Especially Andrew got this stuff to add to the ramen. These little dehydrated, we had dehydrated kimchi blend, and there's another kind of dehydrated vegetable blend. And then he got some fake meat kind of crumbles that are something I think we could add to that too. And then we just got another box of stuff. He got some powdered vegetable broth, which is real. I didn't know you could do that, but I guess that's kind of what a bouillon cube is. But this is a powdered vegetable broth. So we might make some some souped up ramen tonight, instead of just what the pack provides. Did I say hello, Suzanne? Hello, Suzanne. Let's see here. Michelle's eating SpaghettiOs to hold me over till dinner. I have not had SpaghettiOs in, it feels like a lifetime. Probably at least 10, 15 years. And I remember loving them. That's something. I have to think about that. Donna is here. Hello, Donna. Thank you so much for joining us. Norma says we had tuna salad, cottage cheese, and a tomato. Tuna salad, cottage cheese, and a tomato. That sounds like a good, nice, good dinner. Well balanced, Norma. Well balanced. Good job. Suzanne says we had tempura shrimp, fake shrimp, says, and hope Andrew feels better. Thank you. How did you appliance shopped? Was it today or was it yesterday? At some point, I know you were appliance shopping, Suzanne. How did it go? How did it go? Julie doesn't feel great, sort of half watching, dozing. I have had an upset stomach all day. It's been all day. It's been rumbling and rumbling. I don't feel that bad. I'm doing okay, but I woke up with something, didn't feel great. So I feel for you, Julie. Hopefully you feel much better soon. Okay, got another email for a painting. Nice, thank you. Donna says, I was watching the weather for Saturday and Sunday walking my dog. Nice. Said I had chicken thighs cooked in olive oil with paprika, pepper, and steamed green beans. Ooh, that's well balanced too. Very good. Good job. Yeah, Julie, we hope you all feel better over there. Send out those good vibes for you. Get rid of that. Get rid of that nastiness. Blow it away. Suzanne says, we went appliance shopping today. Nice. How did it go? Vicky says, chicken pot pie. Eventually. Not yet. I miss a good chicken pot pie. Our local grocery store, as weird as it sounds, had delicious chicken pot pies. They probably still do. We don't eat them anymore because we're vegetarians now. But there was a time we were not. And their chicken pot pies were a treat, a tasty treat. And I miss them. I wish they'd make a vegetable one. I don't know if it would be as good. I don't know that the chicken did that much. It was the crust was good and buttery and flaky and so good, and the vegetables inside. I miss it. I miss it. Cheryl picked up dinner from the local Spudwagon food truck, a breakfast-filled baked potato and a s'mores croissant for dessert. That sounds good. I love a baked potato. Fill it with stuff, don't fill it with stuff. Top it with stuff, don't top it with stuff. I love a good baked potato. Suzanne says, yes, today it went great. We caught a sale, delivery Thursday. Nice. I saw a picture pop up on Facebook, or a series of pictures with cats. And I was like, those are appliances with cats on them. But I wasn't sure if it was, I didn't even look at the time, if it was today or yesterday or when it was. So I'm glad you caught a sale. That's awesome. Sales are good. Mary says, I used to love SpaghettiOs, but the last time I tried it, I thought they were kind of awful. Definitely not al dente. I don't remember them ever being al dente. Not here in the U.S. They were not al dente. They were always super soft. But I do feel like the last time I tried them, which, like I said, was probably maybe when I was in New York, I tried them. Maybe. If not, it would have been college, maybe even. I don't even know. But I feel like the recipe changed, or maybe my taste changed, because I feel like they didn't taste the same. Charlie had a salad, made lemonade, and slowly eating stew. Oh, I love a good stew. It's a little chilly out right now, I think. I feel it. I'm getting chilly now sitting here. So stew sounds good. Says, I love doctoring up ramen. Tofu, kimchi, and inari are my favorite things to add. Yeah, we're going to add, I think, some of the dehydrated kimchi flakes mix thing, some vegetables, maybe make a nice broth. I don't know. Andrew's better at that than me, but I don't know if he'll have the energy to do that. So it might be up to me. We'll see. I don't know. If it's up to me, who knows what's going to come out? Who knows? Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Susie Wyatt. Thank you for joining us. Julie says, thanks. I hate not feeling good, right? But it makes us feel so much better when we're better then, right? Sometimes we take it for granted. It's like right now, I'm a little bit sore from the yard work I did, but it makes me feel better that, one, I exercised my body apparently more than I thought I did, which is a good thing. But also, I'm going to feel so much better when the pain is gone. So there's that. Susie says, I had a fish sandwich, haluski, and mac and cheese. That's good. That's a good thing. Haluski, mac and cheese, and a fish sandwich. I like that. That used to be, I remember those. I love a fish sandwich. I keep talking about it, and Andrew keeps reminding me that there is fake fish, faux fish, that is a fried fish that I can get and bake in the oven, or in the, I haven't had it in the air fryer yet. And I still haven't gotten it. I keep forgetting. Michelle says, I saw Andrew's tutorial. I have done that with the tight stitch with beads of the same size. I have tried what he did, but no pics. I was just learning different ways back then. Nice. The video tutorial yesterday or the day before? He's done 2 beading tutorials. He did a quick one. Was it yesterday? Quick one yesterday where I went out to get him coffee. So there was that. I don't know if you were here for that or not. I can't remember. And I wasn't here at all until I came back. Marion says a veggie pie could be very tasty. I know, veggie pot pie. Let's get that done. Anne says I had a salad with sweet potato falafel. Salad with sweet potato falafel. Ooh. I also have a migraine. This weather's the worst. Just be summer already. I'm not ready for summer yet. You can have summer, but I don't want summer yet. I like spring. I'm not ready for the heat quite yet. Not full-on heat, but it is very hard. I feel for you, Anne, if you're affected, because I know how terribly affected Andrew is by the weather swings. And so he has many sinus issues with that, including the migraines. Suzanne says, it was today. There were cat magnets. Yeah, those were cute. Those were cute. I didn't know if the magnets were, if they were actual cats, like pictures of actual cats that they were helping a shelter find homes for or something like that, or if they were just their thing. They just have cats around. Marion says, no, SpaghettiOs were never al dente, but I remember them being a treat. Yeah, I feel like, because we didn't have them all the time. We did eat a good bit of like kind of Chef Boyardee stuff as a kid. I wouldn't say a lot, but we did have that, and it kind of always felt like a treat when we got it. So yeah, I get that. And says, I remember having SpaghettiOs with little meatballs I liked. Goodness knows what they were. I know. It's like the Chef Boyardee. That's what I was thinking. We used to get the little ravioli, the filled raviolis. Who knows what the mystery meat was in those? And I remember the SpaghettiOs with the meatballs too. They were good as a kid though. And says, when I was a kid before I was a vegetarian, I liked the most disgusting meat, hot dogs, raw, liverwurst, little gross meatballs. Maybe that's what turned me. Who knows, right? I mean, people, yeah, I used to, hot dogs, same. Liverwurst, I like liverwurst. Liver in general, I like liver. Yeah, my taste in meat was not picky, I guess. until I got older. Then I got a little more picky, but as a kid, yes, I was like that too, Anne. Michelle says the one before, spiral stitch. Nice. Norma says, I was trying the spiral stitch this afternoon with size 6 seed beads, and it got better as I figured out tension. I'm ready to try it with size 8s. Nice. I like that y'all are trying it. That's good. That's good. Try new things. Rosie joined us over on Instagram. If you're out there, say hi. Katutma joined us as well. If you're out there, say hi, please. I have to look this way for Instagram. That's why. You'll see me doing that. She says, I pick up a necklace I did a couple years ago. Nice. Share it. You know to share your stuff. Mary says, hot dogs are fully cooked. Yeah, but I would eat them right out of the packs. And they do tell you to warm them up. I think the packs at least used to recommend or used to say that you should heat before serving, but I would eat them frozen. We would freeze our hot dogs, and I would eat the hot dogs frozen. I like them frozen. Susie says, I grew up eating Chef Boyardee. we ate that too as a snack, definitely. The raviolis are one of my favorites. I remember those. And then they had those little round tube, like the kind of tubular noodles. I don't think they even had a hole. Or maybe they were just so swollen you could barely tell they had a hole. But I forget what they were called. But I remember those, and they had a meat sauce. Donna says, I used to love their ravioli. Loved it with cheese on it. I never did that. I never doctored up my Chef Boyardee. Anne says, Marianne says, well, that's good. I guess I should say unheated. Yeah, I did the same thing, Anne. Unheated and frozen. Oops. I didn't catch my computer before it went to sleep. It went to sleep really quickly. There we go. Susan joined us. Hello, Susan. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Tortellini. Was it Chef Boyardee tortellini? Maybe. And says, loved Campbell's bean with bacon soup. Never had that. I did love Campbell's chicken noodle, though. They had that very odd looking cubed chicken. The cubed chicken in the broth, and that yellow broth. The broth was very yellow. I remember being very yellow, like a bright yellow color, with those pieces of mystery chicken meat floating in them. Yeah. Campbell's chicken noodle. I don't know if it's any better now or not. I haven't had it in probably since I was a kid for the most part. And says, hated all the real meat my mother cooked. Now, that wasn't me. I ate pretty much any cooked meat. When I was young, I didn't like it rare, though, or medium. I wanted everything well cooked, well done. So... yeah, but as I got older, that flipped, and I did not eat anything pretty much well cooked. It was mostly all kind of very rare or medium rare. Susie says, so the neighbor brought me some tiny tomatoes from her yard. I was going to make a salad, but I was lazy and warmed up some veggie pot stickers instead. No chopping or prep required. Nice. Sometimes we just feel lazy, right? Mary says, don't think the chef did tortellini. I don't think so either, but it was there. It had a name, Chef Boyardee. I can't think of it. Now next time I'm in the supermarket, I'm gonna have to go down the Chef Boyardee aisle and see what it was that I used to eat from them. Donna says, OMG, Campbell's bean with bacon soup. I used to love that soup. Nice. Norma says, we're having beefaroni. That's what it was. The beefaroni. That's exactly what it was. I don't remember the song, but because Norma's putting it with little musical notes. There must have been a song, but I don't remember that. But I do. That's what it was. Chef Boyardee beefaroni. Susan said, I grew up eating Chef Boyardee too. When I was young, there wasn't a plethora of pizza places nearby, so we had CB Pizza on Saturday nights. I still get a hankering for them. Hubs thinks it's gross. Chef Boyardee pizza? Is that a thing? Is that right? CB, that's what you mean, Chef Boyardee pizza? I've never heard of that. What? They made a pizza? I only knew the canned stuff. That's totally news to me. Kimberly says beefaroni ravioli. Yep. Yep. Beefaroni. Vicky said beefaroni too. Did I miss that? Sorry, Vicky, if I missed that. Oh, yeah, you did up there. Sorry, I totally missed that. Yep, beefaroni. So this is my fine dining experience tonight was whole wheat crackers with peanut butter and an apple for dessert. Sometimes you just want something a little bit light, right? You don't want a lot. Sometimes I feel that way, but because we don't eat generally, oftentimes breakfast or lunch, dinner is usually much heavier than that. But that would be a perfectly okay breakfast or lunch for me. I would feel good with that. I know you all generally eat heavier lunches a lot of times. Marion says, I remember the song, but we rarely had Chef Boyardee. Donna says, didn't Chef Boyardee make a pizza kit? I don't know. Kimberly says, I've never been a fan of the Chef Boyardee thing, but would only eat the beefaroni when I had to. I liked it as a kid. I feel like I remember begging my mom to get it. We couldn't always get it because my mom, we didn't have a lot of money, but she liked to make sure she generally, I remember her cooking meals most of the time. Sometimes it was, a quick pasta, but it always usually had chicken breast, like she would get the chicken breast or sometimes ground beef, but it was always like lean ground beef. We grew up eating mostly a very lean ground beef and chicken breast, like the white meat, not so much anything else. And she always made sure that we had generally home cooked food. She didn't like to serve things in a can, at least not just that. Like she would mix stuff in, like sometimes the vegetables were usually frozen vegetables. That's where I got that from. I really didn't have canned vegetables for most of my childhood. A lot of that was kind of new to me. My friends are like, that's weird, you've never tried canned this or that. Sometimes my grandmother on my dad's side, she would do some canned stuff, but she also cooked a lot of home cooking, and so it was rare. I didn't really taste a lot of canned veggies and stuff like that when I was young, but my grandparents had gardens and we had a garden, so we would have fresh stuff often too, which was always good. And I was, like I said, my mom, we didn't have a lot of money, things were rough, but she always generally made sure that we had school breakfast. Sometimes that was just cereal, just making sure we had cereal, but she would often cook us breakfast. When we were younger, she would work night shifts, and she would come home from her night shift, cook us breakfast, and put it in the fridge for us to reheat in the microwave when we got up. And cooked meals and good shoes. She always made sure we had good shoes, because she didn't want our feet to have problems. And so, yeah, those are some of the things I remember. But the beefaroni and this kind of stuff was mostly just a treat. Let's see here. Oh, boy, I'm behind on comment. You've been talking a lot. There we go. I've been talking a lot. And so, Susan, that's my usual type of dinner. That's good. Lena says eggplant and mushroom risotto for dinner. That sounds okay. I'm not an eggplant fan. I'm trying to be better about it, but eggplant, I don't know. It's one of those things. If I'll try it every once in a while, but I tend to shy away from ordering it. But I'm sure it was delicious. Norma says, I made Chef Boyardee pizza. It came in a box, and you mixed the dough and added the canned tomato sauce and grated Parmesan packet. I've never had that. I didn't even know they did that. Susie says, they did. Everything came in the box, and all you had to do was mix it up and go. Very plain. I don't remember that at all. Susan says, it was a boxed kit. dough and pizza, Rise pizza sauce, and a little can of Parmesan cheese. I've never seen it. Marianne says they stopped making my favorite whole wheat crackers. Don't you hate when they stop doing that? Find something you like, and that's what they take away, right, Marianne? The thing you like. Let's see here. Kimberly says, Susan, that sounds like a good dinner. I would like that better than these tamales. Oh, no. Oh, no. Vicky says, oh, I remember the box pizza kits. Oh, my goodness. I do not. I do not. Marion says, we had home canned vegetables. We did, too, a lot of times. My grandmother canned a lot of, like, green beans and tomatoes. And I'm trying to think what else. I think sometimes she canned potatoes. Potatoes, green beans. We had lots of applesauce that she canned. Yeah, corn. She mostly froze the corn, but every once in a while she'd do some canned corn too. But their frozen corn, it was so good. I miss that corn. I miss that corn. My grandparents had the best corn. Sue said, haha, Norma, that's so funny. I think it was a thing for people who grew up in the 50s through the 70s. I do not remember that. Do they still make the box pizzas? I would be interested in at least looking at it. So he says, my mom loved that soup. Toward the end, she wanted it all of the time. Which one? Which one, Susie? We always ate fresh vegetables, says Donna. My dad's parents always had a large garden, and and when we lived in Birmingham, we had gardens. Nice. Yeah, my grandmother had a huge garden. My other grandmother, from time to time, would have a garden. She had some knee and hip issues, back issues, that she couldn't do as much gardening. But she had a big garden sometimes too. But my grandmother on my mom's side always had a huge garden, lots of flower beds. She loved doing the gardening. And we loved eating the fruits of that labor, for sure. Mary says, pizza never happened in our house as a kid. Oh, we did. We had pizza. We did not make fresh pizza. We would order pizza sometimes as a treat, or if things weren't as easy to get. It wasn't easy to get dinner done if my mom was late or something like that. We also bought those little thin, very thin frozen pizzas that you could fit in a toaster oven. They were like personal size. And we would throw those in the toaster oven sometimes, and that was kind of a treat. Michelle had homemade canned veggies. My grandmother had a garden in the backyard. Nice. Kimberly says, eggplant can be mushy, and I'm very much a texture eater and can't do slimy mush. It's too much like mucus to me. Yes, that is one of the problems I have with it too, is that it can be mushy. It can also be spongy, and I don't, although I do love zucchini, but I think that is because my grandmother used to grow zucchinis, and her zucchinis used to be gigantic. And we would just wait for this time of the year when the fried zucchini started happening. And I still to this day love fried zucchini. I don't make it enough. I didn't really learn the technique for frying zucchini. I've done it a few times with a hit or miss success. But I do love fried zucchini. Fry up a big zucchini and put some salt on it. So good. So good. Even though it is kind of mushy too, I love it. My mom was about healthy food, says Anne. For snacks, we would always say, have a carrot or an apple. I made a necklace based on that phrase. Nice. Yeah. My mom, we indulged. We had like gushers and fruit roll-ups and things like that from time to time. But, and, like toaster, I never had Pop-Tart growing up until my cousins, we were staying at my grandmother's house with my cousins, and they brought Pop-Tarts or asked my grandmother to buy them. That was a whole new thing to me because I'd never had a Pop-Tart for a very long time as a kid. But we had toaster strudels, and I liked those. Kimberly says, I think those box pizza kits are still around. I'm going to have to look. Mary says, canned Swiss chard not recommended. Donna says, my mom canned a lot, so did my grandmother, so I grew up canning. I grew up with my grandmother canning. My mom never really did. My aunt does can. Her sister does can some. But I never grew up. I watched my grandmother do it a lot growing up, but I was so young that, you know, it was just fun to be around her, and my brother and I would play. She would do it in the basement. She had an oven and a canning set up in the basement. And I would play with my brother in the basement while she was down there just to be around her. But I never really learned the process from her, and I wish I would have, because I think I would enjoy it. Susan says they do still make them. Anne says, Kimberly, I'm a texture eater too. Lena says, Kimberly, I get you. This was cubed and not mushy. Poopy made it, and he says you have to sear the eggplant first, then add it last. Yeah, you got to make sure that eggplant doesn't get mushy. I'm still not sure that I like the taste of it, though. Still not sure that I do. Donna says, I don't think they make the pizza kits anymore because of frozen or deli pizzas. Susan says, I've never eaten rhubarb. My mother was forced to eat rhubarb because her grandmother grew it. She always hated it. Oh, I love rhubarb. I only first had rhubarb, I think when I was in New York, I first had it. And then my mom started growing it. And I love it. It can be sweet. It can be sour. It's good. I like the rhubarb. Marianne likes rhubarb custard pie. Never had that. That sounds delicious. Donna says, I remember those small frozen pizzas, right? They're just little tiny. I mean, they weren't tiny. As a kid, they were big. Like, that's all I needed to eat. But, yeah, we made a number of those sometimes for dinner. Norma says, my dad grew rhubarb in his garden. I hated it, and I still do. I don't know why anybody hates rhubarb. It's so good. It's sour. You can put it with sugar, and it makes it sweet and good. Maybe I've just had it done the way I like it. Kimberly says, we made pizza growing up, but it was mostly when my dad was in the field. I don't remember ever making a pizza. Like rolling out dough, making a pizza. No. Kimberly says, my dad didn't like pizza, so it was a treat when he wasn't home. Oh, I see. Kimberly says, I always zucchini raw or in cake. No other way. I do love zucchini cake because my grandmother used to make delicious zucchini cake. And my aunt makes it sometimes now. She kind of took over for some of that. And it may have been her recipe to begin with. I can't remember. But my grandmother used to make zucchini cake all the time. And I love zucchini cake. But her zucchini cake was different than any zucchini cake I've had. And it was so good. But I don't eat zucchini raw. I've never eaten zucchini raw. I don't know that I would like that. Let's see here. Donna says, I can't eat fried foods with the exception of okra and green tomatoes. Oh, I love a fried green tomato. Love it. Donna says, Mom always wanted us to eat fruit. Fruit's good. Mary says, zucchini is not as mushy as eggplant. Can be, but a good baba ganoush is also yummy. I don't know. I try. Vicky says, Kimberly, that's how I feel about carrots, raw or in cake. Carrot cake is delicious too. My other grandmother used to make an awesome carrot cake with her own icing. I loved it so much. Donna says, the only thing I can now is fig preserves. I tried peach jam and blueberry jam, and those were way too much work. My grandmother used to make jelly. Elderberry jelly. We would go collect elderberries. My mom, my brother, and I would collect elderberries, and we would take them to her. My grandmother would make elderberry jelly. And I loved it. And now I buy elderberry jelly sometimes, and it's not the same. I don't know. Um, it has a little bit of a funk to it, and my grandmother's didn't have that. So I don't know what. Maybe it was the difference between the fresh berries, but I miss her jelly too. She'd also make a raspberry. I think it was more of a jam. I think it had seeds in it, and that was good from her raspberry bushes, and blueberry jelly from her blueberry bushes. Kimberly says, "Oh, Vicky, I hate cooked carrots." So, yep, those are raw or in a cake too. I love carrots cooked raw. It's all right. Anne says, "Yep, just looked it up. They are called Chef Boyardee Pizza Maker Kits." And Marianne says they definitely still sell them. Kimberly says, "I love strawberry rhubarb pie and jelly." Yeah, strawberry rhubarb, good stuff. Susan says, "One thing I like is Trader Joe's pizza crust, which comes rolled up in a ball." I've never had that. I've never had that. And Donna says, well, my local Walmart has the kits. I'm going to have to look next time I'm there. Donna says, my grandmother used to make zucchini bread too. Nice. I like grated zucchini in salad, says Susan. I've actually never done that. Grated zucchini, just raw grated zucchini. Huh. And loves baba ganoush. Let's see here. Kimberly says, I tried it when I was pregnant with my son and found it was very tasty, especially with a little ranch or salt. What is that? What with ranch or salt? The last thing you talked about was rhubarb pie. You put ranch on the rhubarb pie? What's going on? Donna says, I love rhubarb. A neighbor gave me some and they were delicious. Kimberly says, I tried raw zucchini. I've never tried raw zucchini. Anne says, I love the idea of canning. I wish I were the sort. I don't enjoy the kitchen arts. I love that's the same with me. Like, I don't mind cooking. I kind of enjoy it sometimes, but I'm very, like, I have to know exactly what I'm going to cook. I can't just go and wing it. I'm not good at that. I have to have a plan of attack, and I can deviate some, and I'll add some different spices and mix it up. And I think I'm fairly decent with imagining what adding a spice is going to make it taste like. Sometimes I get it wrong, but I think I'm okay with the little bit that I do know and experiment with. I don't go wild. But I have to have an idea of what I'm going to start with. I can't, like Andrew just starts putting things in a pot sometimes, and I don't know how that happens. But I also feel like I would love to can. I like the idea of it. I feel like it's a thing that I should do. But I don't, I'm way based in fear on my thoughts of canning. Like I'm going to poison everyone with botulism because I didn't can stuff right. And I know that a lot of people can under various conditions and they manage to do it just fine. So I'm sure I could, but I have that fear. I don't know if I would trust myself to eat my own canned things. Anyway, Marion says raspberry and blackberry jam on buttered toast. Those are good too. Susan says, I think you need a decent sized kitchen to do canning. Yeah, I think that's why my grandmother did it downstairs, because she had an old, one of those cast iron stoves. I think it was an enameled cast iron stove. Maybe it wasn't cast iron. Maybe it was just an enameled stove. I don't know. Maybe it was cast iron. I think it was. It was heavy. It was big. But she had one of those, and she had another table down there and just big open space. And she did her canning down there. Donna says, now I absolutely cannot eat blackberries. They're too tart. Or maybe I remember stirring a huge pot of blackberry jam, wondering when they would get done. That's funny. My grandmother made the best currant jelly, and currant is still my favorite. She made grape jelly and juice too. I've never had grape juice as good. I know, grandmothers know how to do it, right? Marianne says, ranch doesn't belong on anything. Oh, Marianne, I love some ranch. It's got to be a particular ranch because most ranch has MSG in it now, and my heart can't deal with that apparently. So no more Hidden Valley Ranch for me. But I get the our local grocery carries the I want to say Italian Oven, and that's a different restaurant. The Olive Garden Parmesan Ranch, and so that's what I can have. Susan says, I like cooking, but not when I'm rushed. I agree with that. Norma agrees with Marianne about ranch. No. Susan says, my grandmother grew rhubarb in her backyard, and I remember how she would stew it and also make pies. I would never eat any of it. Oh, no. I love that. I love rhubarb. Norma says, now our carryout pizza includes a container of ranch. Now that I don't understand. I don't put ranch on pizza. Don't be ridiculous, as Belky Bartokamus always said. My mother had 2 kitchens at one point. Her first kitchen was a good size as well. Donna says, yeah, my grandparents' kitchens were always big. The kitchen I have now is tiny, but I have a system when I can do fig preserves. Nice. Ranch with parm might pass, says Marianne. It is pretty good. All right, y'all. Suzanne says, no ranch on pizza. Kimberly says, garlic butter for pizza dipping, not ranch. Yes, Kimberly, yes. Garlic butter dipping sauce. We have a Fox's Pizza here, and I always order my pizza with the garlic butter for dipping. It's delicious. And we usually get cheese sticks too, which is good with that too. All right, ranch on tater tots, asked Donna. Yes, of course. Ranch and cheese on tater tots. Vicky always has ranch dressing in the fridge. Nice. I don't eat ranch dressing on salad generally, but I do have it in other things. All right, like tater tots. Let's flip this around. Let's get this show started. I love chatting with you all, but we're going to be here until midnight o'clock if I don't start the show. Andrew's not here to be like, get going. So let's start it up. I'm also going to close this window a little bit because I'm chilly now. I have about 18 layers I could put on, but I think I'll just close the window. It doesn't need to be open for tonight anyway. And let's close the drapes because it makes me nervous, as my grandmother used to say. Making me nervous with that open. All right. Let's hit the other light. Let's see here. Ranch is an option on some carry-out pizza. Yeah, ours, you can do the ranch option. The marinara, usually that's with the cheese sticks. Marinara, ranch, garlic butter. I will take the garlic butter dipping sauce. Absolutely, yes. I love garlic. Donna says, yes, I love garlic butter. Me too. All right, y'all. We've got some vintage stuff for y'all coming up. Now that our hour-long chatting session is over. Well, it's not really over. We're going to keep chatting, of course. Don't y'all get quiet because I'm going to show the stuff. You can keep chatting. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I'm getting a little parched. So I have some fun stuff, I think, tonight. Mostly vintage stuff for y'all. What should I start with? How about this? Oh, I need to figure out what letters we're using tonight. I think we just did this one recently. Yep, that's too close. Let's see here. All right. That might get in my brain different. No, that'll be okay. We're going to do FW. FW lots found by William. That's what I'm going to call this tonight. Marianne says, sorry I started the food talk. No, don't. I would have started the food talk. You started the food talk and everybody talked about food. When I asked what people ate, like 3 people answer me. So this was good. Marianne, you need to start the food talk every night. Marianne says, who needs more sauce on pizza anyway? It's okay without it, but it's okay to have some. It's okay to have some. Norman says, what pizza needs is more cheese. Yeah. You can never have enough cheese on your pizza, I think. Let's see. We had this at $12. Let's put it at 10. Remember, if you'd like to purchase from this video, we're going to give you a little slip of paper like this. It's going to have an FW number tonight. Take down that number, FW1 for example, put it in the subject line of an email, and send that email to info@allegorygallery.com. Please send a new email each time. Don't reply to an old email to send a new one, that is. So just send a new email every time. And please note that if you do send us an email, you are promising to take it if you get it. It is first come, first serve though, so you may not get it. You can send us an email for every item you want, which is how most people do it, or you can wait until the end and send us a compiled email of everything you want, and we will let you have what remains of your list, because other people will have sent emails in the meantime. Whatever you like to do, whatever works for you. Marianne says, well, Kimberly, not sorry, really, right? Yes, lots of cheese for pizza, says Marianne. I get it. Cheese, lots of veggies. I love veggies on my pizza. I love pineapple on my pizza. How's that for everybody? What do you think about pineapple on the pizza? Is that a yes or is that a no? This is a vintage crystal strand. Vintage crystal. This is a long strand. This is an 18-inch strand of vintage crystal. Oh, Marianne says, the singer is loud tonight. Your singer's back? We haven't heard about the singer in a while. I was wondering what was going on with that. FW1, $10 only, vintage crystal strand. This is 11 millimeters by about, let's say 6. 11 by 6? Boy, it depends where you measure that. I'm going to say 11 by 6 millimeter crystal drops. 1 strand available, FW1, and it has sold. Thank you so much. I'm going to go a little faster tonight. I think people, well, I'm going to say that I'm going to go a little faster tonight. I think people like the faster-ish pace. At least that's what it seems like to me. Did you all see my pottery? Were you tuned in that one night? We had like 4 people watching and I showed off my new pottery. Maybe I'll show that later if y'all want to see it. If not, that's okay too. You won't hurt my feelings too much. But maybe I'll show that in a little bit too. Kimberly says, my husband likes Hawaiian pizza. I'm not a fan. I used to love Hawaiian pizza with the ham. Oh, I do. But I don't eat ham anymore, so there's that. Okay, next up. It's that. FW, is that what we're doing? FW? FW2. We had this at $10. I'm going to give it to you for $7. Marion says he's been quietish for a while now. Spring fever, maybe? Oh boy. This is Red Adventurine. Red Adventurine, which you know is more like orange than red. And this is $7 only. These are tiny rounds. This is a 16-inch strand of 2 millimeter rounds of Red Adventurine. Anne says, I'd like to see the pottery. Oh, good. Marianne says, Hawaiian is my favorite pizza. I think I said that. I miss the pottery. I'd like to see it, says Vicky. That's nice. Thank you. I'll show it to you all. FW2, $7 only. What did I say, 16-inch? Is that really 16 inches? Normally these strands are like 14 inches. Did I measure that right? Yeah, 16, actually. Yeah, 16, almost 16 and a half inch strand. Or 17 inch strand, 16 and a half. FW2, red aventurine, 2mm rounds, one strand available, $7. $7. That's a good price. That's a nice long. That's a vintage strand. They don't come that size anymore. Okay. FW3. Maybe he temporarily lost his voice, says Susan. Maybe, right? Marianne says that would have been a blessing. Oh, Marianne says not that, Susan. I could still hear him. Oh no. These are fun. Vintage glass. These were $8. I can't go less than that. These are nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these available. $8. 8 of them available. Vintage glass in this large kind of pinch bead, the 3-sided vintage glass. You get 8 beads on a strand. Each bead is approximately, say, 10 millimeters by 14, 10 by 14. And FW3. These are really nice, kind of bright, reddy orange. They're a really nice, bright color. I love these. I think this might be one of the things I work with next when I do a new design coming up sometime soon. Sometimes when I am a little slow at the store, I try and make something, and I think I want to use these because I really, really like these beads. I love vintage beads. So vintage glass, FW3, $8 a strand, 8 strands available, all shown here. Okay. FW4. And where is it? Yes. Let's see, we had this at 36. I'm going to take it down to, let's make it an even 30. That's a really good discount for this beautiful strand of big, chunky garnets. Big, chunky garnets was 36, taking it down to $30. These beautiful chunks of garnet. Look at they have such deep color. And that strand is, that is a 14-inch strand of big chunky garnets. And let me just measure, let's see, let's measure this one. This is kind of a middle of the road. It's about 13 millimeters by 18 and a half. These are heavy. Garnets are always heavier. FW3, we've sold one of those. We have 7 of them left. Thank you so much. And this is a good deal on these garnets. Lovely chunky monkey garnets. FW4, $30 for the strand, down from 36. FW5. We have 3 strands of these, vintage glass, and we had these at $8 each. I have to leave them at $8 each because that's the lowest. I think that's the lowest we've gone for y'all before last time, and I can't go lower than that again because they were originally, I think, $12 strand. Lovely design rectangle FW5. These are about 11.5 by 18.5 millimeters. And they are approximately 8-inch strands, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 beads on the strand. FW5. Charlie, this is looking like tasty candies. Don't eat the beads. But they do look tasty, right? I could see that. I could see that. Trying to keep some of these big bags. Some of these are in such big bags. These can go in a small bag, so I can keep my big bags. FW5, $8. I didn't really speed it up, did I? Not really. I told you. I told you. I'm not great at that. Brittle candy type, right? So Marianne, FW6. These are, I believe these are Tibetan silver with the lapis beads. And they were $14 a bead. We're taking them down to $8 each. There are 4 of them available, and they are approximately 11 by 20 millimeters. 11 by 20. Donna says 5 look like butterscotch candy, right? These are the Tibetan lapis beads. 4 of them available, $8 each. FW6. FW7 coming up. Coming at ya. I don't know if we've done this one before. Let's give it $5. This is a lot of vintage glass. A lot of vintage glass rounds. Whoops, that one's cracked. Let's throw that one out of there. Vintage glass rounds. That one's cracked too. Let me check these before I... There's no pieces, and these must have come cracked. Well, let's do this then. We'll throw 2 out, but we'll give you a significant deal on the rest. How about $4? FW7. Oh, let's see here. The screen just went dark. There we go. We've sold 2 of FW6 of the Tibetan lapis. There are still 2 of them available. Thank you so much. So this lot is $4 for these glass rounds. They must have had a hard way on their way to us. 12 millimeters. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them available for $4. FW7. They're really pretty. They're like a gray with black, a little bit of white. Good staple colors. And these ones we just get rid of those. Nobody wants those. Throw them down the mountain. FW8. FW8. Ooh. We did this at 36, but I'm going to drop it I'm going to drop it tonight. This has been around for a little while. This is a vintage strand we've had for a little while. So I'm going to give you an awesome good price on it. Charlie says, I like those lapis beads. Someone buy them so they don't taunt me. There's still 2 left. 2 left, Charlie. Somebody bought 2. They saved you from 2, but there's still 2 left. Look at this. This is a vintage strand of dogtooth amethyst. Beautiful patterns. I think Andrew's cooking something. Is he cooking something? Or did he just make coffee? I smell something and I can't tell if it's food or coffee. 16-inch strand. And these are 20 millimeters by 14.5 approximately. That was a $36 strand. For you all tonight, $28 only. $28 only. 1 strand available. And says, I love the cut of that amethyst, right? You don't see stuff like that too much. That's a good cut. And it's a good patterning on a lot of those. So 1 of those available if anyone's interested. Good discount tonight. Tonight only, $28. FW8. That's one of those 24-hour deals right there. We're not going to keep that price for long. That's a really good strand. And it's easily worth the $36 in the store. FW9. How many of these do I have? 1, 2. These are long strands. 3. I have 3 of these left. 16. Let's do them for 12. $12 tonight. Donna says, love the amethyst, right? Isn't it nice? FW9, vintage carnelian faceted drops. And these strands are, are 16-inch strands, vintage carnelian faceted drops. Really nice quality carnelian. So there's one of them. Here's another one of them. And here is the third one of them. FW9, 3 of them available. $12 each only. 13 millimeters by about 13 millimeters. Usually when the drop's that way, it may not look like it, but it is usually the same. 13 by 13. FW9, $12 each. 3 of them available only. Those drops look juicy, says Charlie. They do look juicy. Juicy drops. Juicy, juicy. All right. Whoa. We've got some vintage check coming up for FW10. Let me see what price we had on this. We had $14 on this. Let's do it at, I can't go too low. Let's do it at 12. How many of these do I have in here? 2. 2 of these in here. These are really pretty. I love this kind of green blue, kind of a green gray, actually. Vintage check glass, long vintage strand. That's a 10-inch strand. And let me see, I don't think, no black light glowing, even though it is a nice green color. Sometimes that green glows. Let's see, we've sold the FW8, the amethyst. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Somebody got a good deal on that one. It's a really good price for that strand. When you get it, you'll definitely see, for sure. So these are FW10, $12 each. Some vintage check excuse me, long strands. Need another drink. Doesn't that annoy you when people do that? I have a tendency to sometimes do that. FW10, 5.5 millimeters by 13.5. Really cool color. If you can't see it, believe me, it's a really cool color. There it is. There you can see it more against my hand, against my skin. All right, FW10. Maybe he bought some incense. Maybe he lit incense. Maybe that's what I'm smelling. I can't tell. My nose, I feel like I have a fairly good sense of taste, but I have a terrible sense of smell. I feel like I have a really hard time when I smell something knowing what the smell is. Like, it's hard for me. Does that happen to you? Like, you'll smell something, I'm like, is that cooking? Is that coffee? Or is that incense? I think it's incense, y'all. I think it's incense. I forgot he just got some. I sometimes have a really hard time placing scents. And go down to 22 on this one. FW11. I shouldn't even do that on these. Because these are old, very old vintage glass drops. These are probably actually antique. Mary says, when I have the rare migraine, last thing I would use is incense or drink coffee. Caffeine, I find sometimes helps mine, even though I don't drink caffeine. When I have headaches, when I used to get them and I did drink caffeine, caffeine always helped me. Incense, not sure about incense. Smells don't usually bother me with a migraine. It's usually sounds and light. Anne says, I have a hard time identifying the location of sounds. That's annoying too sometimes. I feel that. But I'm better at that than identifying smells. 12-inch strand, it's definitely incense. I just caught a bigger whiff of it. It's definitely incense. He might be cooking, but he's definitely has the incense going. This is a 12-inch strand of vintage, well, antique. This is actually antique glass. Anne says, Marianne, scents are the worst. Many give me a migraine. You know, I will get, that might be why my throat is starting to have issues, because he lit up the incense. Incense and certain smells oftentimes give me a sore throat. I don't necessarily always get a headache from them, but I do often get a sore throat. I actually had to stop wearing cologne. I used to have a very nice, fairly high-end cologne addiction and collection. And suddenly, it's like somebody put the hex on me, because suddenly, out of nowhere, I could no longer wear my cologne because it made me physically, like, my throat gets sore. And still to this day, my throat starts to feel 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 of these available. My throat still sometimes, and I can kind of feel it. I love incense, but it does, and cologne too. Mary says, caffeine works for other kinds of headaches for me. That's good, at least. These are vintage Czech glass bird tongue, duck tongues. Super beautiful blue with the purple. You get the strand. I guess it helps if I put up the paper. FW12, $6 each. $6 each. Suzanne says he should smell a cat. They smell so good. I know. Vicky says caffeine helps most of my migraines. Strong scents would aggravate me though. And Anne says caffeine gives me a migraine. Used to help me get rid of one. I kept high caffeine tea around for it. Nothing works anymore, but I don't get them as often either. That's good. Yeah, once I get a migraine, if it goes full-blown migraine, I see halos and things, so I can usually catch mine. The way I used to catch it is by taking ibuprofen, which I'm not allowed to take anymore because of my blood thinners. So thankfully, I haven't really had to deal with one too often. But I see halos, and mine are usually tension headaches. So if I take ibuprofen or a muscle pill of some sort and rub the back of my neck really hard, because it's usually from my neck, I can usually get rid of them, thankfully. But if I wake up with one, that's it. Donna says, oh Lord, I can't go anywhere near the cologne counters in department stores because I get a sore throat and can't hardly breathe. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. It's coming in under the door. So sorry about that as you hear me congest and decongest myself. Kimberly said those are pretty paddle beads, right? Yeah, some people call them paddles. They've been called duck tongues or bird tongues as well. And these are vintage. We have sold one of them so far, so there's 6 of them still left at only $6 each. That's a special price for y'all. Thank you for hanging out. Well, let me give you the size on these because I didn't. These are hard to get a size of, though. They really are hard to get a size of. About 16.5 by 7.5. Susan says my hubs gets visual auras, which is how he knows he has a migraine at hand. Yeah, that's how I know too. Okay, maybe I will open the window again. Okay. And says, OMG, my dad has back pain and I was plying him with ibuprofen. It's perfectly safe. I take it all the time, etc. I didn't know it was a problem for the blood thinner he takes. The doc told him. Yeah, that's thankfully my doctor told me because ibuprofen is the only thing I take or used to take because I have a really, my muscle things are usually muscle things. The pain that I get and Tylenol doesn't do anything for me. And acetaminophen, all that aspirin doesn't really help much. But that's all I'm left with nowadays. Let me see here. I know I had some more of these little bird tongues in a different color, and some of you might want these that grabbed some of those. So let me do these, and then we'll move on to something else. Marianne says, since I spend my budget, if it gets too bad, I can just tune out. Right? Are you tuning out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of these ones available. FW13. These are a red with a green. You can see they're vintage. They have that old vintage cotton cord in them. And these are the paddles, duck tongues, bird tongues, vintage check glass in red with a green. And they're the same size as the other ones. Marianne says, no drug is perfectly safe. No, but there are certain ones you definitely don't want to use because you don't want any internal bleeding starting. That's what I get worried about. I have to admit, I have like an ibuprofen once in a while, and just one. And it does help. but I don't make it a habit because I'm not supposed to anymore. Okay, FW13, $6 each strand, 9 strands shown and 9 strands available. And says the doc gave him this giant bottle of extra strength Tylenol. I was surprised they gave him so many, but he generally refuses to take anything. Yeah, Tylenol doesn't work for me generally. I take it because it helps a little bit, but it doesn't do much at all compared to ibuprofen. But there isn't much you can, unless you get into some higher strength muscle relaxers, which I don't really want to do. So now I try and stay really well hydrated and hope that helps. Let's do this. A nice price like yesterday's pricing, right? If you missed yesterday's show or the day before, we did sell downs on gemstones and glass. And we had really great prices. So if you missed that, check it out. Go back and do a rewatch. This is sodalite. This is just a nice, very nice, actually, very nice sodalite strand in rounds. We're doing this whole strand for $6. This is a 16-inch strand of 6mm rounds for only $6. Sodalite. If you got any of the sodalite in the show yesterday, you might want to add this to it. $6, 1 strand available. And says same. Tylenol is like drinking water. I usually try to wait out the pain since nothing helps. Sometimes I have to take something just for the psychological boost of trying something. I think that's more what it is for me. I'll sometimes take like Tylenol or aspirin or something. Well, I can't take aspirin anymore really either. So ibuprofen is a no-no. Aspirin is a no-no. So acetaminophen is all there is. And it's not, it's just because I think I'm doing something. Sometimes I think that helps, right? All right, what's next? Let's do $6 in this strand. Anne says, today I took Excedrin. The caffeine makes me hyper and chatty. Yeah, I try and stay away with anything with caffeine in it, even pills, but every once in a while. What is Excedrin? What is the generic, or what's the actual drug name of what is in Excedrin? Is it acetaminophen with caffeine, or is it something else with caffeine? These are cool. These are vintage Czech star-shaped. And they have a metallic, an AB metallic on one side. This is approximately an 8-inch strand, 8mm by 10. Marion says, well, I'm not about to try ibuprofen since I had a mild reaction to another medicine in the same class. What's in the same class? Maybe I can take that. I don't know. Vicky said Excedrin is acetaminophen, aspirin, and caffeine. So all of them. Yeah, Andrew can't take acetaminophen because he's allergic to acetaminophen now. So I can take acetaminophen, but he can't. He can take ibuprofen to a certain extent. I can't. Yeah, we got to be careful. This is $6, FW15. Norma says Excedrin is aspirin with caffeine. Migraine Excedrin is the Tylenol or acetaminophen, aspirin, and caffeine. Wow. Oh, Marianne says Aleve. I've not had Aleve. I don't think Have I had Aleve? I don't think so. I wonder if you can take Aleve. Is Aleve a blood thinner too? Maybe I need to check out a leaf. If it's tied to ibuprofen, if it's not a blood thinner, that might be worth it. FW16, $5 each. 2 of these little beauties available. This is a little hand-carved bone fish, drilled mouth to tail. And says, back in the day when my migraines were super bad, the best thing I ever got was ketamine. They gave it to me in the ER once. I've never had that, but I've heard it does amazing things for people in a lot of ways. I have some people who were friends who were severely depressed, and they've been microdosing, and they swear by it. This is about 25.5 by 40.5 millimeters. Vicky says, I only take Excedrin migraine. We keep a huge Costco-sized bottle of it at work. We all get migraines. Oh my. Let's see. Kimberly says, the leaf is in the same family. I wasn't allowed to take NSAIDs when I was on blood thinners. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Probably the same thing. Although they didn't warn me about a leaf. You would think they would. But if it's an NSAID, it's probably the same thing. Probably the same thing. Oh, these are fun. These are fun. These vintage glass kind of leafy beads or lily pad beads. I don't know what they are. Marion says ketamine is used to tranquilize animals. Yes. I think it's didn't they use it to tranquilize humans too? Isn't it in something? If it's too much. Anne says, I was on Tylenol with codeine daily for years. It worked pretty well until it didn't. Look at these. Super cute. Little leafy kind of lily pad like. I don't know. They're super cool. Vintage glass beads in this green and gold luster. 1 strand available. That is a 3-inch strand, $8. Super cute, super cool. FW17. And it says he called it souped up ibuprofen. Oh, the ER doc was a jerk and wouldn't tell me what he was giving me. I looked up and saw that it was an animal tranquilizer. Did not understand, but it worked. Called it souped up ibuprofen. Yeah, I hear it's good for certain things. FW18. Yeah, 18. Whoop. Well, there went those all over. That's what happens when you take the items out upside down. Let's see here. Let's put these. These are $2 each. We've got 13 of them available. FW18, $2 each. 13 of them available. Hand-carved bone. Hand-carved bone. That's a really good price for these at $2 each, I think. I did good. I did good for y'all. These are 13.5 millimeters approximately by 45. In inches, that's about 1 3/4 inches. There you go, FW18, $2 each. Marianne says, it wasn't very ethical to tell you that, Anne. Yeah, you think they'd tell you what you're taking, right? Although, we've been through the hospital stuff with relatives, and they don't always. Susie says, ketamine can be dangerous to use. Absolutely, it can be dangerous. But also, this is what I've been told, in microdosing, it can also be very helpful for depression and anxiety. Because I have friends who, like I said, who have gone that route because it was the only thing left to them to do, because they were suffering so much, and it worked for them. Let's see here. What does this say? I'm trying to read. I don't know who this is from. These are lampwork glass, handcrafted since 1967. These are vintage. I know that. I don't know who they're from, though. It's not marked. But they're in the vintage lampwork section. FW19, $20 for the strand. This is a 4-inch strand of lampwork rondelles, and these are approximately 11 millimeters. 11 millimeters. FW19. Let's see here, FW20 coming up. Oh, so anybody have plans for the weekend? I'm going to be working on stuff at the shop. Plan to hopefully put some things in the D stash this weekend too, so stay tuned for that. These are vintage freshwater pearls. This is a 16-inch strand. Let's do it let's do it real cheap. $12. $12. Vintage freshwater pearls. These are small pearls. Suzanne's going to the protest. Nice. Like that. Vintage freshwater pearls. Little ones. These are only 4 millimeters. And Kimberly says button pearls, right? Little buttons, little flat bottom babies. And about 3 by 4 approximately. 1 strand only available, FW20. Pretty color. Pretty color. Marian says, lots of YouTubes to watch that come out tomorrow. Going to try an outside walk between some. Nice. Nice. FW20. $12 for the strand. FW21. Oh, I wish I had who was marked who this was. FW20 just sold. That was the freshwater pearls. Thank you so much. This was $145. I'm going to drop it one day only to $125. This is a lampwork glass pendant. There's $145 was the original price. This is a raven with something in its mouth in the moonlight. Norma is going to check out a movie from the library and order a pizza for movie night with friends tomorrow. That's fun. I like that. I want to have a movie night with friends sometime. Anne says, I took 4 or 5 bags of clothes to Goodwill today. I will rearrange my closet and drawers this weekend. That has to feel good. That spring cleaning. Is this not a beautiful lampwork glass? Carrie Keffler or fur? I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar, but I could be wrong. Andrew would know. If somebody buys this and they want to know for sure, I'll ask Andrew if he remembers. I don't have it listed here, though. But if it matters to you. But this is a very nice piece. And says it's an amazing price for Carrie's beads. It totally looks like hers. Could be. Like I said, this was Andrew in Andrew's collection. I could be wrong. You would be lucky to even catch one. They disappear. So there they go. It's not disappeared yet, but one day only. That price. Marianne says pretty sure that's one of hers. It could be, because this came out of Andrew's collection. He probably would have one. I'm surprised he's letting it go. He doesn't let a lot of his higher end lampwork glass go. But there it is. This is approximately, wait, that doesn't, yeah, that's right. Approximately 40 millimeter. FW21, $125, down from the $145 price. Susie says there's one at our county seat about 20 miles from here. Nice. Got a couple activist activities tomorrow, says Susan, assuming they aren't canceled due to rain. Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Is it going to rain on everybody's parade? Hopefully not. Hopefully you can get out and do your civic thing, right? FW22. FW22. Oh, these are fun. These are $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these available. Vicky says, I think you're right. I have one of her ravens. Well, I'm going to go with you all then, because even though that name doesn't sound familiar to me, it came from Andrew's collection. And if you all, most of you think that, it's probably right. But I can check with Andrew if anyone is super interested in that, but they want to verify that first. Let me know, and I'll check with Andrew on it. But there you go. There you go. So these are vintage plastic. They were $5. We're going to leave them at $5 because I can't go lower than that. Marianne says, Carrie isn't doing much beading now, but she recently did Crow Raven paintings. Nice. And says it's supposed to rain here too. I hope the protests are still big, right? Me too. Me too. This is about 13.5 millimeters by, get in there, 20. Vintage plastic, beautiful strands, just a cool black and clear. FW22, $5 each, 6 of them available. Oh, and they are 6-inch strands. Whoa! FW23. Is that right? Yeah, 23. Boy, I have not been going very fast, have I? I feel like I've slowed down. All right. This was $28. We're going to leave this at $28 because that's the low price already. This is a dyed chalcedony nugget strand. I know some of you like these dyed chalcedony nuggets. It's a very light color. Light, like a blue, like a opal-like blue. And then a pink. And a little bit of the kind of yellow. That one, I don't know if that one's dyed, honestly. These are dyed chalcedony nuggets, slightly dyed, not overly dyed. FW23, $28, 7-inch strand, beautiful chalcedony nuggets. $28. One of the 22s is sold. Thank you so much. There's 5 of those still available. One, two, three, four, 5 of these. 5 of these agate strands. We had these at 18. We'll go down to 16. 5 of them available. Look at these beautiful agate strands. And this is kind of like a 3-sided bead as well. Not kind of, it is. They're a 3-sided bead of the beautiful agate, various sizes. Let me show you. I just pulled that one, but here are the rest of them. They're all super pretty, glowy, lovely strands. FW24, $16 a strand, and I'll get you measurements on these in just a moment here. Let me just grab one of these. That's approximately 10 millimeters by about 18, though they do vary. And these are 16-inch strands. FW24, $16 a strand, 5 strands available. Really pretty agate. Okay, these come from Andrew's stash. These are some of his spacer beads. These are copper spacer beads. And they're sold by the strand. $26 for a strand. Vintage copper spacer beads. 2 strands available, 16-inch strands, and they are 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters. And let me see if I can show you where they are. Copper spacer beads. 2 strands available, $26 a strand. FW25. You know what? Don't tell Andrew. Let's mark them down to 22. 22. If you want them, FW25, $22 now. 2 of them available. What the heck? Let's give it a deal. Special deal. I know we've done them at 26 before. I'll give you a little bit of extra $22 for those if you'd like one. FW25. FW26. FW26. Silver, I believe this is a Hill Tribe silver pendant. You can see that veil there in the form of a flower. Beautiful. Like a rose, right? Rose? Is that a rose? What kind of flower? Rose with the leaves behind it. Leaves behind it. This is approximately 7/8 of an inch. Let me see. Let's do it in millimeters. 23.5 by about 22. Marianne says it's a rose. I'll go with that. That's what it looked like to me too. FW26 was $24, bringing it down at one time down to $20. $20 if you're interested in that. FW26. FW27. $6 for this lot of leaves, leaf pendants, drops. They are wired already. They are glass pendants, and you get 4, 8, 12 of them. For $6. So 50 cents each. For the lampwork glass leaf pendants. FW27. Beautiful colors. I love that white and clear, and that frosted clear. Good for heading into summer with bright freshness. FW28 coming up. Let's see what we got. Copper spacers. These are larger whole copper spacers. And let me see, I've got a little bag full of them here. Let's see how many we've got. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them, it looks like. 13 of them, $7 each. FW28. These copper spacers, vintage copper spacers, larger hole, and they are 4.5 millimeters. I don't know if I can get in there to do the hole with that string or not. I don't think I can. Let me try. Can't. I'm going to say They're probably at least a 2mm hole. At least a 2mm hole. And these are 8-inch strands. 8-inch strands, copper beads, FW28, $7 each only, 13 strands available. Whoops, come on, paper. FW29. This is really pretty. FW29 is this vintage glass. Vintage check glass. And these are approximately 7mm by 8. And this strand is an 8-inch strand. Beautiful amethyst color. There's a little bit of light and dark purple in there. They vary light and dark purple. FW29, $6, 1 strand available. All right, and FW30, I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we'll show you my pottery. People wanted to see my pottery, I'll show you my pottery too. Fine. This is nice. Let's do this. This was 32. Let's do it 28. Really good price. This is a sterling pendant and bail with, I believe, I think this is zoisite. I want to say this is zoisite without the ruby, not ruby and zoisite, just zoisite. FW30, $28. Sterling pendant, one of them available. This is a vintage item. This is 1 1/4 inches without the bail on top by 1 inch. FW30, $28. 1 available. All right. That's it for the live show tonight, y'all. Let me, some of you wanted to see my pottery, so let me show you my pottery. All right, so let's see here. Oh, we sold FW30. Thank you so much. So my pottery, I had shown you all, maybe this is too high now. I had shown you all this one earlier. So this was one of my newest pieces, and I was waiting for more of these to come out of the kiln, and they came out of the kiln. So we have this one, and then this one, and then I think my favorite of this series, this one. Now I got to raise the camera a little bit. This one, which I really like how this one ran and the colors on that. Vicky says they're so pretty, William. Thank you. Thank you. I tried hard. I tried hard to get different combinations and find pretty things. Anne says, I love the pink and those glazes and those big brown circles on the second one. These, my polka dots. Yeah, I have been loving working with this engobe. It's called an engobe, and how the glaze always flows around them. This one is actually, it's kind of like a little Morse code. It's in dashes and dots, and the glaze is flowing through most places. It overflowed on this one a little bit, but it's still flowing around most of these, and that's what it does, and I really like it. So thank you, Anne. Donna says, William, these are so beautiful. Love the glazes. Thank you. These will be going in the online store if anybody's interested soon. I haven't gotten pictures of them yet. I've just gotten a little bit behind on that, but I will be getting those in there. And then I did this series of 2. There you go. And I love how this came out. Andrew said it reminds him of like the beach overlooking cliffs or islands out there. It's just a really pretty color combo. Kimberly says, I bought one of your pots from your last round. Can't wait to get it. Yeah, I'll be shipping those soon too. I always get hesitant when I ship. I have like a mental block against shipping them, so I apologize. It takes me a little while till I can figure out about packing them up and getting them out to y'all. I really worry about them being packed well enough. Sea and Sky says Marianne. Marianne says, interesting shape on the third one, but if you know, you know. This one? What do I know? This one? What do I know? I don't know what I know on that one. Love this dish too, says Kimberly. Thank you. Anne says, it's totally stressful shipping pottery, but worth the wait. Thank you. I appreciate that you understand. It is. It's so stressful because I put so much work and love and good energy into these, and then I hope and hope and hope for the best. Oh, no pink for you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Kimberly says, I totally understand they are one of a kind and need to protect them. Yes, I do my best. And so far, knock on real wood over here, I've not had many breakage. I don't think I've had any break, which I hate to even say that because, you know, but I think I do a pretty good job generally of packing them because I'm so worried about it. So there's that. And then, so this glaze combo is the same as this glaze combo in a different order. So this has the blue on the bottom and then the brown or the smoke in the middle and the yellow versus the blue. So it's flipped on this one, but this is also the same inside, but this has a speckled clay and this is a white clay. So look at the difference in what those come out looking like using the different clays. And this one got something stuck on the bottom. I got to file it down. But this one was a bowl that I created that started to slump. And I was going to just toss it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Because sometimes when they start to do that, they'll get a crack. And so I said, I'm just going to give it a try. I'm going to give it some time and see what it does. And I'm glad I didn't because I'm glad I didn't toss it because I really love this one. This is one of my very favorite ones. And I love this combo from the blue to the smoke to the yellow. So I'll probably do this combo again. But then again, it never works out exactly the same because this combo is one I've done before. And more of the pink came out on the outside, but this time the pink came out mostly only on the inside. So Kimberly says, I like the organic mushroom look to it. Me too. It just looks like a nice dish, nice bowl. I like it. And that'd be a pretty good size for our ramen eating. Anne says, if you ever have one that doesn't turn out, you could break it into pieces and soft solder them independence. I mean, easy for me to say. Yeah, you know, I have some that I have cracks in that I've not glazed yet, and I might actually just glaze them and put them through and do something like that. But I've never soft soldered, but Andrew has, so he could teach me how to do it. Marion says, I like the brown base one with the yellow and blue. Which one? They're both. They both have brown bases with yellow and blue. This one just has less yellow because the yellow got covered more by the blue. But thank you. Norma says, that's both the good and bad of glazes. The end result is always a surprise. Yes, it is. And then I did this series. And these two I did in reverse order on these, the bottom two. And I like how this one came out. And I used a white speckle engobe. And on this one, I used a red engobe, a dark red, which I've never used before. I've never used either one. And I really like this one. And this one was also really liked by my pottery teacher, so much so that she asked me if I would trade her for something. So this one's already taken, but I told her that I had to bring it back to show my people first, and she agreed. So this one, I traded my pottery teacher for this mug from her, which is going to be great for my tea. It's a nice big mug. I drink a lot of tea at night. I drink a big serving at night. And so, you know, you're doing something right when your pottery teacher asks you if you'll trade with them. So I love how this came out. And I also love this vase too. Or somebody the other night said that this could be like for oil on your table, you know, like a salad dressing or something, which it could be. And it's a Southwest flavor in the bud vase especially, right? And I have another bowl coming that hasn't been fired. I think it was in the firing process, and it's my favorite bowl so far. It's nice and round. It's very thin walled, and the walls are like straight up and down, and I really like it. And I did it, I think, in this pattern exactly, and I kind of wish I did it in this pattern now because it's a bowl I was thinking about keeping. And although I love this, I love this part of this, and I would not get that with this. So if the bowl does more of this, I will be very happy with it. But I just love how this blue faded into this brown, and how the brown flowed over this lighter color to still reveal the flecks and colors in that. So I love this, and I will be doing this and this probably more often, but I love this white speckle on the bottom, and I think I might use more of that. I just like how the white speckle matched up with this color, how it kind of fades together. And that's why that's why I flipped them on this one, because I thought that this would blend into this better. And I was right. I think it does, but I can't get over how much I love this. And I may never get that result again, which is the other thing. Who knows? So those are my newest pottery pieces that I've gotten back so far. And the available ones will be going into the online store soon. So that's my new pottery. I made 6 new pieces. This week. So I'll have a chance to trim those and glaze. I have some coming out of bisque as well. I think 6 pieces, 7 pieces or something like that coming out of bisque too. So I'll be glazing and trimming probably this coming week. So that'll be fun. And yeah, so I everybody keeps telling me that I need to get my pottery set up here at the house going. And Andrew's been pushing me to get my wheel set up down in the basement and get things reorganized down there. And my pottery teacher has been pushing me, and my friends in the class have been pushing me because they have mostly setups for themselves now. And I'm like the last holdout, even though I had my wheel before all of them. I'll be the last to have it set up. So my mom pushed me today. So she's like, you need to do it. So I need to do it. So I can get more things out and more practice and be able to work on more stuff. So that's the goal. Hopefully we'll get to do that soon. So, William, no more procrastinating, says Marianne. I know. The thing is, though, is I feel like once I get it set up, then what? Like, so I'll be able to make stuff, and we have a small kiln, so I could make small things like my pendants and stuff, which I'm excited to get more of those made. But I don't have any glazes, so that's money I have to spend on glazes. I don't really have any clay, so it's money I have to spend on clay. And I always, I'm like, I get clenched up when it comes time to spend money on stuff, especially stuff that is for me, right? And I know I can make things for the store, and that's what I do mostly, is sell the stuff for the store, through the store. But I get clenched up when it's time to spend money on me, on things that I like to do. So it's hard for me to do that, because I'm like, oh, we should do this instead with the money. We should do this, and I come last generally, but I know I need to do it. And I'm enjoying doing the pottery, and I think people are enjoying buying the pottery, and I appreciate that, and are enjoying and getting some enjoyment out of it as well. So I need to do more. I just hesitate, but I got to do it. Anyway, thank you all for a great week. We've had a lot of fun this week. If you missed any of our shows, including some of the tutorials that we've done, that Andrew has done, I should say, and we did some sell down shows this week. We still have a few things available from those sell down shows. A lot of it has sold, but a few things are available. So do check those out. I can't remember what we did Monday and Tuesday. So we did something, though, I'm sure of it. This week felt like an extra long week. I don't know if it felt like that to you all, but it felt like an extra long week to me. And I'm kind of happy that it's Friday. Even though I still work all weekend, there's a little bit of a feeling of difference when the weekend comes around. So we won't be going live. That I do miss, but I don't think I could do 7 days a week anyway. But I do miss y'all on the weekend. But I hope you all have a great one. And I hope you have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Do the protest thing for those of you doing it. Do the organizing thing. Maybe I'll do some organizing too. We'll see. Marianne says William first, and says put your own mask on first for self-care. I know I need to do better at that. Susan said it has been extra long and stressful. Yeah, a lot of y'all had stressful weeks or a week. It feels like weeks. Some of you all have had stressful weeks the last few weeks. So sending good energy out to y'all. Try to decompress a little bit if you get a chance this weekend. I hope so. I'm going to try to do that a little bit. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you all so much for hanging out. We really do appreciate it. I know we say it over and over and over again, pretty much every day. Try not to forget to say that we're grateful for you all and thankful for you all. And we never want it to sound like a broken record, but it's one of those things, like, we mean it, so we say it every day. Try not to forget ever. So thank you all so much. Marianne says some of you all had awful weather. Stay safe. Yes, you all too. Suzanne says good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll meet you back here on Monday. Bye, everybody.